6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Hello everyone, and welcome back. And in this part, we are going to continue with our modeling Sonic tutorial, and we will basically do the head. Hopefully we can do the whole head. If not, we'll separate it into parts. But it's pretty straightforward if you follow along. So, allow me to I need to turn on my screencast keys. Give me a second. What we want to do is go here to the center and let me increase both the font size and the mouse size. Okay. Alright. So, Shift A, we're going to add a plane. We're going to hit R, or actually we're going to tab into edit mode, hit R, X, 90 degrees. Okay, we're going to scale this down quite a bit, and then we're going to move it to the side. You want to go to your modifiers over here, click add modifier and go to mirror. Make sure clipping is turned on. Now I want to show you a tool in here called the Poly Build tool. So once you click on that, make sure you hit T to bring up this panel in edit mode. Once you click on that, this tool basically allows you to click and drag on each vertex to move it without having to hit E for extrude every time. And also, if you see if I hover my cursor over the edge, this blue, it gets highlighted with this blue line. If I click and drag, it extrudes the edge for me. So this is basically what we're going to be using to create the shape of the head. And this comes standard with Blender 2.8 and 9, I believe. So everyone should have this tool. So you also want to make sure that you edit everything in both views, so the front and the side view. So these can be maybe moved back, and it seems like his eyebrows are kind of a part of the same shape as the like his forehead here, so we'll just move it up. And we can actually move these back so that it matches. And you'll notice that gives us this concave shape in 3D, which is what his eyebrows are. That's probably the wrong shape, but hopefully I said the right shape. Anyway, drag that to the center. And you'll manipulate these points. Okay, oops, be careful. You can, so I might have accidentally extruded up here. So, and it seems that I've done it down here as well. If that happens, so I'm going to Control Z that. If that happens and you find yourself having duplicates, select everything, hit M, and by distance, or go to Mesh and go to Merge. So let's continue. Oop. So somehow I've already created so if you see it happen on the fly, you can just hit Control Z and get rid of it, Okay, so we have to, of course, maneuver this in 3D space. So we want to move these back, way back. Then we want to move these back to here. Then we want these to go here. Like so. And maybe there we go. Alright, then we can extrude this guy down, extrude that down, and then bring it over. Alright, this edge loop here for the eyebrows is imperative. You must have this edge loop. Okay. As far as, I mean, yeah, this is the best way to make this edge loop. I feel like I could be pretty definitive in that statement. Okay, and then you can hit Control R and Alt S to scale it along the normals. Okay, so there we go. We have some eyebrows there. That's nice. Let's see. Just want to make sure that so you can, I think there's a button you can click to. Yes, okay, cool. So what you can do is on your reference images, click only axis aligned. So you only see it when you hit 1 on the number pad. So on this, so on both of them, check only axis aligned. That way when we rotate around, we can just see our character. And then when we go back to the front view and the side view, the images will still pop up. So that is very useful. Hella useful in my opinion. We definitely want to W shade smooth these. Okay. And let's go here in the 3D view, and we just want to kind of like round out this form. Make sure that it's going the right direction. Like this. Okay, there we go. And yeah, it still follows. That's wonderful. And this still follows for the most part. We might want to bring some of that in a little bit. Bring it up. Bring it in. Oh, be careful. Be careful. If you feel like you got doubles, remove them. Feels like I still do. Let's delete that. Okay. Now, let's go here and bring these two together. And we can probably just do one more. Do we need that though? We probably don't. We can add it later. Bring these two together to the center. And then F to make a face. So, then what we can do, whoops, I hit E. What we can do is go to face select mode up here, or I mean up right here, or hit 3 on the number pad, and then I. And then we want to turn off boundary. Control Z and do it again. There we go. That'll just give us more geometry up here to work with. And again, you want to make sure that the shape is round. So, and then you also follow the reference image as best as you can. So with this middle part here, we're going to we're going to turn off this tool here by clicking up here on this mouse cursor with the box around it. And then we're going to hit hold control and click around the head to get to about there. We're going to worry about the spikes after we get the rest of his head shaped up. Alright, so there we go. So now that we have that done, we can turn our poly build tool back on. And when you hold control, you notice that we have these triangles pop up. Okay. What you can do with this is create faces like that. So what we can do with this also is if you hold it in the corner like this, you can create a face, and then if you still hold control, you know, you can snap it or whatever, you know. And then if you click this button up here, you move it close enough to a point in 3D space, it'll snap to it like that. So those are the tools that we're going to be using to make the rest of this. So let's get to it. Yeah, so we have our edge loop pretty much for his eyebrows. Though we could probably continue it one more time before we get to the ear here. So I'm just going to I'll select both of them and collapse them, or center. There we go. Okay. Now we have this like kind of like pull vector here. You don't want to stretch your geometry too much. So we might add another edge loop down here. We might not need it because when we subdivide it, you know, it'll look better. Just add geometry and make sure that you are editing this in the 3D view as well. Following the reference is important, but if you just follow the reference and then you turn and look in 3D, you'll notice how much it doesn't look like what you were trying to do. And that's because you know, the reference can only, the 2D images can only get you so far when you're trying to replicate 3D, or when you're attempting to replicate 3D. So we are doing it, we are not trying. Look at that. Okay. Okay. And then we want to continue this. Ooh. There we go. That's good. I make sure that these are spaced out evenly. And we can probably move these inward. That's just Alt S to do that. Once you get used to using the different tools, you'll realize what situations require them and what situations require other tools. So let's see here. It's going to be the ear. Let's drag those out. Bring those in. Yeah, it's I don't know. I think the last time I might have started with like a sphere or something. I don't remember, but as I thought about how I would make Sonic again over time, you know, I think this is the simplest way to really go about it. Now I can probably bring these in. How many edges are these? So if you want to see your edge count, they used to be automatically beneath here in the old Blender. In this version of Blender, though, you have to go here and check statistics, and then you can see how many vertices you have active in your selection. So we have 9. We want to even it out, so we can get rid of one or add one. Let's get rid of one of these. No, we want to keep the integrity of the smoothness here. So we can add one here. And the reason I'm cool with that is because it's always better to have as many edge loops to deform your eyebrow section as possible for the most emotive expressions. So we should have 10 now, which is good. So we just want to move these areas back here to better encapsulate the shape of the ear. Whoops. Okay, and then we can just extrude, scale it down, and then what we can do is Control F and grid fill it. Because it's 10 of them, it should be all quads. And then you can turn the span down, or you can experiment with the span. I like to see what I can get. So I think I like 3. Let's see what happens if we change the offset. This is the best offset, I think. So now what we do is we smooth it. Again, you can go to, I believe it's vertices and smooth vertices, and you can add a keyboard shortcut with right click and add shortcut. So we're going to scale this down some more, and G to grab, move it up. Scale it down some more, move it up, scale it down, and that's good. So then we hit Control R, click, and click again to add an edge loop there. We can make his ear a bit thicker here. Let's just scale it out on the x-axis a bit, like so. So we got nice basis for an ear. Now what we can do is in our 3D view here, we can just distinguish better through the shaping of the vertices, the front of the ear and the back of the ear. We want the back of the ear to be lumpy, and then when we get towards the front, we want a more flat type of view, maybe even going inward a little bit. Okay, and if this looks a little stretched to you, don't be afraid to add another edge loop in here. You can always just move the vertices around to make sure that they're not so scrunched up. There we go. So it's important to consider, you know, the entire shape of what you're creating. So we got this part for the ear, and we see the hole here. The hole is about yay big. So what we can do is we can grab these vertices here, right? Maybe. Yeah, okay, so if it's going to be these 3, then we want to move these back, and we want to move these back. Okay. Okay. So apologies if you can hear the garbage truck apparently just now doing its job. So, I'm going to inset that, and then make sure that these up here are not too close together. Definitely want to spread those apart before you keep moving. Go to face select mode and select these, and then E to extrude inward. Okay, and bring it really in there. Jokes. And then you smooth it. Then we could probably add one more edge loop in there, maybe one in here. And there we go. We have our ear here. And ear here. That's interesting. Just want to edge slide these down a bit. Get rid of some of the scrunched up nature of whatever was going on up here. Maybe you can add an edge loop in there. And that's why it's important to work in edge loops, so you can, you know, fix problems or add things or change things at a, you know, really quickly. Like if I wanted to sharpen this up here, because I made it the way I did, I can just add an edge loop down here and sharpen that up. I don't want to do that, but that's just an example. So there we go. We got Sonic starting to look like himself.